Gabby Williams is one of my favorite players to watch. The bounce and energy that she plays with, the enthusiasm that she plays with. She would be a good fit with a lot of teams. Obviously, she was just playing with the Seattle Storm. I've imagined her on the Indiana Fever, but every team in the WNBA would be lucky to have her. That is, if she does indeed play in the WNBA. Because a lot of people saw her play for France in the Olympics when they almost upset Team USA and wondered, hey, why isn't she in the league? She explained it pretty simply. Obviously, it's the finances, because playing overseas, she can make a lot more money. I mean, it's kind of wild when you think about it with the Caitlin Clark effect and everything else, that hasn't actually taken effect when it comes to salaries. Clark herself is making like $75,000 a year. Of course, she's got that $28 million Nike deal to fall back on. But someone like Williams sees an opportunity to go hoop elsewhere and then come back to the WNBA when it works out for her. And she was expressive of that, doesn't hide that fact, and even kind of called the commissioner to task about what she felt were empty promises about the pay scale in the WNBA, comments that did indeed go viral. Here were those comments from Gabby Williams in regards to why she doesn't play in the WNBA.
That when I first talked about you thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. Our commissioner talked about us being able to, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. And that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money and whatever, and then the teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just the WNBA, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's all that means.
And she has expressed how she's comfortable playing overseas, being half European. And somebody, I guess, tried to clap back at her with a TikTok saying that Clark indeed did make more money than that. And that was something else that Gabby addressed on an airplane. We will soon find out where she was headed, but this is what she said.
I'm just going to take this as like a learning opportunity for everybody here. In the video, I'm talking about WNBA salaries and our collective bargaining agreement. I'm not talking about personal endorsements. I'm not going to disclose what I make from personal endorsements. I'm talking about specifically what WNBA salaries are and what is written in our CBA, which all of you can Google and it's all public information. Two, for everyone saying, well, stop complaining and leave the country if you're unhappy in America. I did. And I have been for the last 3 years. That's the point. That's the question I was asked. Specifically, like after the Olympics, everyone was like, why isn't Gabby Williams in the WNBA? This is why. Because I make way more overseas. Anyways. And then to the point of this comment, Clark does. Clark makes 70,000 in the WNBA. So I know all these, Caitlin Clark fans, whatever, like Caitlin Clark makes 700,000. That's off of endorsements. I'm not talking about endorsements. I'm talking about the WNBA. And no, there is not one player in the entire WNBA that makes the money that the commissioner likes to brag about. And that was the point of that clip as well. Part 4, why do I keep coming back to the WNBA then? I come back when the timing's right. Like, if it works out. Because I have other things that I prioritize that me personally, I choose to prioritize, and that's my choice. As I said in the video, players have the right to choose what they want to do. I've chosen to play for my national team and to make more money overseas. I come back to Seattle because they treat me well. I'm willing to play for less money because the staff and my teammates are always so great to me, and I enjoy playing there. And I enjoy playing in the WNBA. It just happens that it doesn't always work out.
So those were Gabby Williams' comments. I mean, obviously makes a lot of sense, right? And I understand, the league was not making the profits necessary to pay the players what she might entail there. They did sign the new media rights deal. It remains to be seen when that will take effect. Obviously, everyone is going to make more money in the future. There's also the option of Unrivaled now. in the offseason, though some of the league's biggest stars, Clark, Asia Wilson, are not doing that. But you saw Gabby there look to be on a plane, and apparently this was where she was headed. She was headed over to play once again internationally. This says, welcome our new transfer, Gabby Williams. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of that team. I believe it is a basketball team based in Turkey. So there is Gabby Williams. I believe that team also plays until June. So she will likely miss the start of next WNBA season as well. And that is her prerogative. But I guess a lot of people learned that over the course of these clips, over the course of this year, the course of her experience in France, because if you weren't familiar with women's basketball, you just think WNBA, that's where the best play. And the best might choose to play where the pay is. Now, some women might not be as comfortable as Gabby is just up and leaving the country. She addressed that in the clip. She said it, right? You guys said, why, if you're not happy here, why don't you leave the country? She said, I did. I have. And obviously, she is doing it again. I hope we see her back in the WNBA with the Storm or otherwise, because she is one of my favorite players, period, to watch and, to hear talk and express herself, because she's clearly an independent thinker, speaks and thinks for herself. And then her play, she plays with an energy, a bounce, an enthusiasm, and is clearly a team player as well, which is one of the reasons we saw France make it all the way to the gold medal game and really give the United States a run for their money. She was the best player on that team, and probably made herself a lot more known across the globe, and particularly in the USA with that performance, even though she had obviously played previously at UConn.